into Life is a Sacred Journey. Every week, we bring a new perspective to aging and caregiving. Here is your host, Michelle Pope.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the virtual neighborhood of Life is a Sacred Journey. There's a lot going on behind the scenes here this morning. I don't know, every once in a while, me and technology have a little bit of a fight. And I was trying to drop something into the speaker and it wasn't working, but and my earring keeps falling off. It's just one of those fabulous, wonderful days in the neighborhood. So welcome to all of you. You have landed in the living room, the bedroom, the table of your house, wherever you are in your office of Life is a Sacred Journey. We are so excited that you're here. I'm your host. My name is Michelle Pope, and hit that share button. I want to thank you all. I wanted to show you our certificate, but you know what? I can't find it. I'm all discombobulated this morning. So, but we received a wonderful certificate, 7,000 people out there viewing Life is a Sacred Journey. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit the share button, like us, subscribe, whatever platform you're in. Please make sure that you do all those things that keep us going out there, because we're getting such great feedback, and I want to thank all of you. Continued birthday greetings out to me from people that have joined the Life is a Sacred Journey family. So welcome and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be. I want to send a happy birthday shout out to Robert. Happy birthday to you. I hope that you're having a fabulous, fabulous day, and know that you are loved in this world. And so happy birthday to you. And then I got a wonderful video this week from my dear Louis from Belgium, who reached out to me and said he wanted to chat with me. So on Tuesday, I get to chat to my Belgium family. We're going to do a video conversation. And so I'm just so excited. One, for the love that I have surrounding me. And then for all of you who every week come, and all of you new folks that are joining us, thank you so much. If you're on Facebook and you want to say hey, and say hey to all of your other folks that are a part of the Life is a Sacred Journey family. Get to know each other, become friends, so that when you go visit different cities and different places, you have somebody who's a part of the Life is a Sacred Journey family. So today, this is a pondering. And every once in a while, for those of you that are new to this platform, we have a pondering. And that pondering is just all the stuff that goes on in my head throughout this cycle of journey of life, the womanhood stuff, all the stuff. So I'm excited about today because I've had some incredible experiences in the last week, and I want to share them with you because I think that they will help you, whether you're a caregiver or whether you're somebody who is aging in place, which we all are. If we're alive, we're aging in place. If you're somebody that's a caregiver that works in a facility or in what they call community, hopefully some of these thoughts will help you to look at things and ponder them for yourselves, because I'm not asking anyone to change their way of thinking to my way of thinking. I'm just asking people to ponder stuff. I've had to learn to do that myself, because perfection is not my friend, but the idea of becoming a better person every moment, every breath that I take. First of all, I need to say this because this is like bumping in my heart. So right before I came on, and that's why I was a few minutes late, because I hope I don't get in trouble for this. So Felicia, protect me in whatever way I need to be protected. But I was doing this. Tina Turner. That's all I'm going to say. I came into my wonderful womanhood in my 20s, in the 70s, 80s. I was working. I mean, Yeah. So Tina Turner was like the soundtrack of my womanhood. I love the way she moved. I watched her on the Ed Sullivan Show when she was Ike and Tina Turner. And I watched her do that dance across, and I was so like mesmerized by her. And then as a woman going out to the clubs and dancing, I love to dance. Anybody who knows me knows that I love to dance. And so dancing with her, learning her moves, learning that walk, and then to watch this woman grow into her 50s, her 60s, and 70s with a rock style that was so amazing. Anybody who knows me out there knows that I'm a fashionista. I love clothes. I think they are like museum pieces and need to be loved and cared for and worn in whatever way is you. And that was Tina Turner. Tina Turner also had this amazing voice that she could sing rock, she could sing ballads, she could sing. And then she carried herself with this powerful womanhood that was so exciting to watch. I only saw her live once in concert here in San Francisco when I moved here. Wow, I just need to say, rest in peace, dear queen, dear sister, dear woman, dear Tina Turner, and thank you so much for giving, I know, me and other young women, little girls, a face and a personality and a wisdom and a dignity that we can say, yeah, I want to be like Tina Turner. I feel we've lost you too soon. I know I wasn't ready, but it's not in our hands. It's a universal story that we all have in our personal story. So rest in peace, dear queen, and know that you were amazing and you are simply and will always be the best. So thank you to Tina Turner. I'm going to light my candle for her this morning, and for Harry Belafonte and for Jim Brown and for all these powerful, powerful people who we've lost. And I know there are more that I'm not mentioning, but I have to say, as a Black person, those individuals, Cicely Tyson, Jim Brown, Ruby Dee, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Maya Angelou, all of these people were the faces of my Blackness as I was growing into my whoever and the person that sits before you in this moment. And so the passing of them reminds me how fast life shoots ahead. And then it, happening around my birthday. So, I just celebrated my 66th birthday, which is an amazing time. And I'm happy and la, 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 all that stuff. But then when you begin to see that life is quick, yesterday I attended a funeral for Chris O'Brien, basketball coach of my daughter during her high school years, and an amazing man. He was in my neighborhood. We lived in the same neighborhood, but this amazing, amazing, amazing man. And yesterday when his brother stood up to talk about him, he kept talking, and the priest, it was at St. Bonaventure's in Concord, Clayton area, and a church that I love and have partnership with and other things. And he loved his brother so much, he didn't want to stop talking about him. And it was just so amazing to me and he said he loved funerals. That was something that he said that I've been pondering that since I heard that yesterday afternoon. And he said, I love funerals. And what he was saying is he loved the idea and he loved what happened at funerals. Families came together. People talk about the person that passed away in a loving and caring way. And then though I realized in that moment, we need to do that. There's a saying that says, give people their flowers. So give people their flowers while they're alive, because while it was so heartwarming and it was wonderful to see the basketball folks that my daughter played basketball with, the families that we became a family those 4 years, going to games, traveling to games, crying for our girls on the bench and screaming for them to shoot the ball. We became a family, but we hadn't seen each other for a while. Pandemic, our kids graduated, they went off to college. And then to see these young women come together and be happy in a moment that was very sad, that it was a sudden death and so unexpected, and so we will miss Chris O'Brien, but his life is a legacy of love. He loved those young women. He understood that they were going through a very emotional time in their life, and so his emotional intelligence around their needs, he lived the platinum rule to give them what they needed, and he did that. And then I met him always in my community. He owned his family owns an ice cream shop. And I would go there because once it opened, of course I went there. And every time I would see him, he would give me a card to get a free ice cream. And I still have one of those, which now I will never use, and I will keep it on my refrigerator in honor of Chris O'Brien. So love people when they're here, friends. That's my first pondering. Tell them that you love them. Don't worry about if they don't tell you. Don't worry about if they haven't told you in a while. Don't worry about if they don't even tell you they love you back. If you love them, tell them you love them. If you are thinking about them, tell them you're thinking about them. It is, and I'm the worst at it. So I'm just every time something like this happens, I rejuvenate that idea in my spirit that I got to do better at it. And I keep getting better. I have to say, I keep getting better. But do those shout outs, because you never know. You never know. The last time I spoke to my brother was going into the hospital for a surgery, and we said we loved each other. And we had a long conversation around the politics of the world and the family and all kinds of things. I am so thankful that we had that conversation. I'm sorry. So thankful, because I never heard his voice again. So know that every moment that you can give love to another human being, no matter who they are, you will know that life is fantastically wonderful. Know that you must give love in every way that you can, and let people know. Hallmark loves me because I love buying cards, and I'm in CVS enough that I can do that. Nancy, who is a follower of Life is a Sacred Journey, send out cards. I leave DM messages or videos for people, because I know sometimes people are at work and I don't want to disturb them just because their spirit is dancing across my heart. Reach out and love people, let them know. And smile at other people, even when they are strangers. You know, we have lived, oh my goodness, thinking about my brother. We have lived in a time where division and separation, not just because of racism and all those things. Oh, that's what's missing. My sign fell. All the Asian hate, COVID. But there's been division among us for since mankind, the beginning, whatever that beginning is for you. And we need to understand, if we want to change the trajectory of the human race and how we are in this world, it really has to start within yourself, within myself. We had a guest on last week that talked about that too. We talked about all of that. And what does it mean to truly give of oneself to another human being or another cause, or to something selfishly, without any idea or and not using the word sacrifice after you do it, you know, just doing it because it's the right thing to do? I don't know. where we get there. We get there in moments. We really do. When there's a catastrophe, we get there. We're ready to put on, our water boots and get it going and make it happen. And we're in it. But it's the day-to-day stuff where we fall short, or where I fall short, because I'm not going to put my stuff on you. I know I fall short. And if you see yourself there, please know it's not a judgment. We're just having a discussion, and I'm just sharing this with you. And I fall short because I get angry. I get upset. I allow my emotions to get in the way of what I know is right or wrong or whatever. And so how do we get to a place where we have a little bit more balance? And I think getting older, you just automatically kind of get there because, one, you don't have the energy. I have a lot of energy, but I don't have a lot of energy for negativity. Like positive energy and positive stuff just gives me more energy. And I go, whoa. It's like getting a vitamin B12 shot, or eating sugar or drinking a lot of coffee, which I don't do anymore. If you notice, Life is a Sacred Journey family, you don't see me drinking coffee as much, but I do drink it. But that, where you're just excited and it empowers you and it makes you want to do more. But negativity, man, it draws you in, it beats you down. You end up being like this. You lean over, you fall out. Negativity is so physical. It's amazing. It just kills you. And so how do we get to a place where we can put our invisible shields up to get rid of this negativity and not hurt anybody in the process? Because that's the thing. How do you not hurt somebody who has a negative mind or appears negative? How do you do that? So those are the kinds of things that I ponder when I'm away from you as Life is a Sacred Journey family. So that was that pondering. And then the other pondering that I've had, and I've had it since my birthday and actually a little bit before. And now really with Tina Turner passing at 83, because I really thought she was going to live forever. How do we enjoy the fruits of our labor? That to me is an amazing concept, right? That we talk about vacation, we talk about different things, but enjoying the fruits of the labor to me means really identifying all of your fruits. Meaning all of the purpose things. Thank you, Steve and Rob Schallenberger, for doing what matters most. Pivotal change in my life. If you can get the book, go to their website. It really helped me to, and I want to say something, because this is on my mind. I've known a lot of these truths before they were a part of my practice of life. The fuel of my life. I knew these things, but then I wasn't ready to implement them or to know them in a way that they would manifest change in my behavior, if that makes sense. And now in this season of my life, because I met Rob Schallenberger now 5-6 years ago, and Rob and Steve, I read the book, I did the class, we interviewed, we became friends, we did some stuff outside of this platform, and just doing pre-week planning every Sunday. And when I don't do it, okay, I'll put my hand up here. When I don't do my pre-week planning, I am messed up the following week. It doesn't mean I don't get things done because I got the calendar over here, but the pre-week planning helps me to decide when it's going to be done, even though it's on the calendar scheduled because maybe it has a time frame. That pre-week planning helps me to decide where it fits into the energy level, because I have energy days that are off the hook. Okay. And Monday is one of my good energy days because I try to rest on Sunday. I really use Sunday as a Sabbath day going into my faith journey. So that day, I try not to do too much that isn't about boom, 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 boom. Don't you like that? Boom, 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 boom. just taking it in, taking it in. So Sunday is that day for me. But the rest of the days, the other 6 days, I try to figure out which are the energy days, which are Friday morning, high energy, because I know I'm coming here. So I'm always waking up, getting down, getting on my knees, saying my prayers, doing my meditation, stretching a little bit, because as I'm getting older, I'm getting stiffer, doing this, I'm getting this little thing here. So I'm lifting my little weights, doing my little bell thing. So Friday, I'm getting my mental exercise ready, my physical exercise, my spirit, so I can come to you and share with you in a way that hopefully helps you to ponder, or bring a guest on that is thankful that I can be engaged with them, because the night before, maybe I finished their book or got halfway through it, or whatever it may be. So at that time, that pre-week planning helps me to do that. It helps me to also say, okay, wait a minute, there's no personal time in there. We need to get some personal time, Michelle, because I'm the worst. I'm the worst. Get some personal time. Or you don't have any time in there for mind, body, and soul and spirit. You have no time in there. Even though you say you have a Sabbath day, you've given it all away to someone else. So come on, fix it, jockey it right, make it work. Oh, it's a holiday coming up. Oh, Michelle, look, you get some time for yourself. No, Michelle's already put stuff in there that has to do with work or something else. Well, can we take that now and push it so maybe that you really can have a holiday? You see? So pre-week planning, and I do it Sunday night at 7. Alexa comes on. She's my, yes, I have an Alexa in my home. I unplug her a lot, but I do keep her in so that she can help me with those kinds of things. And she goes, pre-week planning, 7 o'clock, Sunday, pre-week planning. I get my water now because I'm not drinking alcohol as much as when I was younger and I was out doing more, I drank more alcohol, and I definitely will go wine tasting, and I will do different things like that. But it's not something that I desire. So I have a bottle of wine in the refrigerator now that needs to be poured out. But I have my water. I love this lemon basil lemonade that I've been drinking lately. So I drink that, and I have my music on. I'm listening now to Tank and the Bangas. They're out of New Orleans. Really good if you're into a little bit of hip hop and a little bit of Zydeco and a little bit of just getting your get your groove on. Yeah. Okay. I listened to that. Last week it was Nina Simone, or the week before, because I missed last week, Nina Simone, because I was feeling a melancholy kind of way. I had a melancholy moment around my birthday. But all those things take time to plan, because then you will, when the emergency happens, because they always do, you're not scurrying to figure out where the time is in your mind. You've already got it set up that if something happens on Monday, I have this moment. If something happened last week, I missed a whole meeting with my mentor, Rebecca Simon Peter from CCR, Cultivating a Culture of Renewal, because I didn't pre-plan. I would have remembered it had I sat down to pre-plan that it was missing from my calendar, but I didn't, because something else came up I don't even know what happened on Sunday. Something happened that I couldn't do it. So all of those things. So pre-planning, we talked about that. That's a pondering that I've had. Giving people their flowers when they're alive and letting them know how much you care about them, the impact they've had on your life, anything that will let them know how important their existence is. And it also will make you feel good and help you to reminisce and feel good emotions around that relationship with that person. The other is communicate, people. So I said, give the flowers, we did that, and that requires communication. Definitely does. But communication, communicate. I'm going to tell you why. I had an experience recently with somebody whom I did not hear from after this person and I had been engaging. And I mean, we've been friends a long time, and we've been in each other's life a long time. So I wasn't worried that I had done anything or something had happened to our friendship, but I was worried. And I started making up stuff about why that person hadn't communicated with me in my head. And I was starting to get a little annoyed in my head. And then I didn't do anything though. And I was thinking, I said, but Michelle, wait a minute. You don't even know what's going on. And you've set up a whole story, a whole scenario here, and you're holding the person responsible for the story and the scenario. And now you're in your feelings and you've done it all by yourself. I did it all by myself. And so I break that bondage, boom. And I said, why aren't you doing something? And you know what the bondage was? I didn't want to look stupid. I didn't want to appear weak. I didn't want to be the one to break the ice, to break the thing, whatever it was, because what if I was wrong? What if the person really is mad at me? What if the person just doesn't want to be my friend anymore? Maybe they want to ghost me. Maybe that's what's happening. All this. Oh my gosh. And there's no light in that conversation. There's only darkness in that conversation. And the person was getting all jacked up in my mind. And they hadn't done a thing to me, really. So I reached out, found out the person had been going through some stuff. And so I'm probably like the last thing on that person's mind if they're going through some life changes and a winter season that is the part of the winter that's not lovely and beautiful in the forest, because that's where you are. So stop making up stories and communicate with people when you misunderstand what's going on between you and them. I have one more relationship that I have to do that with, that I need to figure out, did something happen that I'm not aware of? And if it did, and I participated in it, allow me to participate in the healing as well. So that is such a, oh my God, I can't tell you how heavy that noose was. I'm trying to find something in here that would reflect. I can only use my phone cord. That was a noose. That was a noose around my neck, and I was pulling it. Not anybody else. It was Michelle Pope. The story was complete, friends, and I was swallowing in it in a way that would that would have made me and that person, it would have hurt something that we've taken a lifetime to build. So yeah, communication is important. And then be ready for what the person has to say. They may not say what your intentions may be magnificently wonderful, but they may not respond to you or your intentions. And you got to be okay with that too. You got to be okay with that too. And it's all right. It's all right. It's okay. It doesn't mean anything, but long as you do, that's what I'm in that season of life. As long as I do the right thing, I can't be, it's not, and even if I have to apologize, because sometimes, Michelle's a direct person and I get mad about stuff, and I'm the Taurus bull, if you believe in all that. I kind of don't, but my personality does reflect whatever. Sometimes I go in that China store with the intention of breaking everything in it. As I've gotten older, I've gotten better with that too. So all of those things I've been pondering in the last week. And, friends, life is a sacred journey. And the journey is, and some of us are going to be blessed to live long, long, exciting lives. And some of us will leave before the others. But at the end of the day, We need to do our best for every part of us, for our minds, feed our minds with good. I'm not talking about all this other, all these other doohickey things. I'm talking about in your own head, speak love and kindness to yourself. I don't believe that we can love anybody else fully and freely and with abandonment until we love ourselves. That's my personal belief. And everything that I've read and psychology and every kind of says that's true. So learn to love yourself. And even it's okay to be alone, but not alone. It's okay. You're going to be all right. I keep saying, people pick up some books and start reading again and stop being so audio, because I think you need to get in the silence of life a little bit. And with books, there's silence, and therefore your imagination can do what imagination does and wonder. I forgot, I just received a book from my friend, and I wanted to share it with you because I've begun to read it, and it's phenomenal. And the author has agreed to come on Life is a Sacred Journey, so I'll get her here soon. But yeah, I don't know what her pronouns are, so I'm just saying her because, again, that's who I see, and that's who her gender. Okay, but I don't know what her pronouns are. So, because I wanted to also speak about that before I do a couple of ifs. So those were my ponderings, and my last pondering is about pronouns. I had the honor, and I consider it a magnificent honor, last week to be engaged with a group of transgender, dressing young adults who taught me some incredible things. Yeah. And helped me to look inside myself from the stories that I had been told and taught. And while I consider myself to be pretty streetwise, because I did spend some time being nurtured by the street, I didn't realize how our internal fear of the different, it was like for me feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm the only person in the room that identifies as cis or heterosexual or whatever. And I was like, okay, so everything about me has a heterosexual slant to it. So will there be acceptance there? And I loved it because we went into covenant in the very beginning when we began our conversation that we would be respectful, that it would be we would not say you all and things like that. And we would ask questions when we didn't understand, and that the person on the other side had to give grace to the question. And when we sat down in kind of confidentiality, that's why I'm not telling you their names, and where and how and all of that. So all of those things, we just talked about all of those things. We took a good 20 minutes starting there. We made a pact so that we wouldn't make mistakes about people's pronouns, just to speak each other's name without the gender. Wow, do you know how hard that was for 2 hours not to refer to somebody based on what you visually see their gender is? It was amazing to do that. They taught me that. So do that. To see a young man totally dressed as a female. I mean, even more female clothing. What we've made female clothing. I look at fashion as fashion, but I know that coming from the fashion world, men's, women's, children's, we categorize, and we've done that forever. So it's going to take a long time for us to change our understanding. Unisex clothing is becoming really popular. I mean, I wear Doc Martens. But I wear the men's ones because the women's size doesn't go up to the size that I wear. So you see, I'm a cross-dresser too. My friends are watching this morning, or will watch this, because I promised them that I would have this discussion with you. You've got to learn to let some of the stuff that you've learned and that's been embedded in you, you've got to let it go and allow people to have the freedom to be who they are. And to me, that I don't need to learn, and they agreed with me. I don't need to know the pronouns because I'm going to make mistakes about the pronouns because I lived 60 something years without even any knowledge of pronouns other than how to use them in my writing. So it's going to take me a minute to learn. So being patient and being gracious and being loving and not being so angry and thinking that, and that's the one thing that we talked about, the anger, that comes out of not being seen the way one wants one to be seen. I get it, because as a Black person, I have always had that little underlined thread. It's like, okay, so you don't see me for who I am. You want to see me like I'm some movie character and not for who I really am. So, I've had to deal with that a lot in my life and learn to ignore it but it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean that I don't recognize that it happens. So it happens on all levels. Women, it happens to men. It's not we do this across the board, anywhere where we are different. And some of those differences are things that actually all of them are gifts, and we should be applauding those differences. I like it that when I need to do something in my home where it is something where I can't do it or I need help, I enjoy calling my son and saying, can you help me? I need a longer arm. Now, am I calling him because he's just a gender? No, I'm not. He's better at it than me. Simple as that. He's better at it than me. So at the end of the day, when we start treating people as their gifts and what they bring to the relationship, and we communicate a little more, and when we get in our feelings, it's okay to get in our feelings, acknowledge that it's your feelings and you got into them, but then don't hold somebody else responsible for what you're feeling, because it's not their fault that you feel what you feel. So those are my ponderings. And my last pondering is, why did it take me so long to find Ubu ice cream? Ubu ice cream apparently comes out, or I might be saying it wrong, it's UB or Uba, UBU, and it's the purple sweet potato thingy. And Trader Joe's makes an ice cream out of this wonderful thing. Oh, friends. And cream also has it, but they don't sell it in the pint. But I got 2 scoops of it the other day with gummy bears. I didn't eat the gummy bears. I sucked on them and eventually had to throw them away because they don't disintegrate very quickly. But yeah, so, because again, I'm learning how to take care of these teeth if I want to take them to the tree with me. But yeah, it is delicious. Try it. The caloric content, not bad. The fat content, not bad at all. And it's tasty. Okay. And it's purple. Who could ask for anything more? Okay. All right. Homage to Prince. Yeah. Purple. We need purple. All right. So we're going to do some ifs, because you love these. So this comes from If Questions for the Game of Life by Evelyn McFarlane and James Saywell. If. And I believe this book was published 50 million trillion years ago, but I keep all my books. So here we go. Here, let's see. Let's find a good one that we haven't done before. Yeah, I went to the page that I have marked before. If you could spend 1 year looking for one thing in the world, what would you search for? I don't think I've done this one. I hope not. Felicia will fix it if it isn't. And if so, we'll do it again. If you could spend 1 year looking for one thing in the world, what would you search for? I think I remember doing this one because I think I remember saying what my response is. What it would be for you? For me, I would search for like the Garden of Eden or the Spring of Life or the Tree of Life or something of that nature, knowing that I would never return from it. That's the other thing, searching for something that in the world, what would you search for? Would you come back? I don't know. Would you come back? Okay. If you could have been told one thing that you weren't told when you were a teenager, what would you like to have heard? Oh, if you could have been told one thing that you weren't told when you were a teenager, what would you like to have heard? You ready? For me, it's not that serious. It's not that serious, girlfriend. You're going to get over it. You're going to get through it. And one day it's going to live in the rearview mirror of your life. Stop giving it so much time. First person I fell in love with, as a teenager, and he didn't love me. And the heartbreak and the tears and the despair and the grief and so real at that time. And I wish somebody had, instead of just acting like it wasn't real for me, just said, it'll be all right. It's not that serious. You'll get over it. I'm here for you. And gave me a hug. Because when you feel these things, they're real to you. They may not be real to anybody else. So if you could be told one thing that you weren't told when you were a teenager, what would you like to have heard? And for me, it's not that serious. You'll get over it. It'll be fine. All right, here we go. I don't think I've done this one. If you could live on any one street in the world, which address would you choose? Ooh. If you could live on any one street in the world, which address would you choose? Oh, wow. Well, I've always wanted to live in a penthouse in New York. Totally paid for, taxes paid for a decade or some weird thing like that, and live there. So at the, right there. Central Park, look out the window. Yeah. That's the street. Fifth Avenue, just, hello, how you doing? Go downstairs, walk around. So I love this one. If you could live on any one street in the world, which address would you choose? All right. If you could sing any one song beautifully and perfectly, which one would you pick? Oh, I like that. Ready? If you could sing any one song beautifully and perfectly, which one would you pick? And for me today, it would be You're Simply the Best. With perfect pitch, perfect everything, perfect movements, choreography, You're Simply the Best. All right. Here's our last one. Let's look for a good one. If you had to predict the most important development of the 21st century, what do you think it will be? So this must have been, 21st century still happening. So what do you think it will be? We've been hearing about AI, we've been hearing about all kinds of things, but cars that, that's AI. But what do you think it will be? Important development in the 21st century. I think one of the important developments will be, and because I think we're getting closer to that with research, is something that it's still not going to be a cure, but I think it'll slow dementia, Alzheimer's down enough that it will give time for some sort of vaccine or something to be developed. I don't think it's going to be in the 21st century. So those of us that are baby boomers and still aging in place, we may not see it in our lifetime, but I do think something will happen in the future around cognition and things of that nature. Okay. All right. I think, I like this one. Let's do this one and then we'll close. If you could change one thing about your city or town or neighborhood, what would you alter? If you could change one thing about your city or town or neighborhood, what would you alter? I live in a bedroom community, and so I always say I just wish it was more diverse and we weren't so segregated by socioeconomics, actually, more than anything else. It's interesting. Segregation is just not the color of your skin or your ethnicity. You can segregate yourself by your money, and then look at each other and be so proud that you have more money than those people. So I wish I lived in a community that was less like that, and a little bit more diverse. It is, but it's not where I live, right? See, it's not where I live. So all the things, and you know what, you guys, I'm not apologizing for the fact that I live in a bedroom community and it What I'm saying to all of this is we have to ponder the circumstances in which we live and how we impact the world and each other. And it's not from the place of right or wrong, because that's why we can say black or white, or we can say this or that, male or female, is because we're always looking for the scale to be higher for one than it is the other. What if we equalize the playing field and realize that my happiness, when I'm happy, I exude happiness and then I share happiness with others. And so people are impacted by that. And so let's do more of that kind of sharing instead of this sort of, because it makes it too easy to fall down the slope of those people. So I want to thank you for coming to Life is a Sacred Journey. I think you're amazingly wonderful, and everything that you do out there in the world to change the world, to be a better world, I applaud you, and I pray that you feel supported wherever you are. If you are one of those individuals out there at this moment that feels that life is not sacred and somebody has done you harm to the point where you think that your life is not worth living, I'm here to tell you it's way worth living. And if nobody else has told you this moment, this second, this day, you are loved. You are loved more magnificently than you could ever think. And you are loved by the Life is a Sacred Journey family. So if you are feeling sad, if you're feeling lost, if you're having anxiety and depression, please dial 988. I always look at it. I know it by heart, but I want to just never make a mistake to make sure that you get the help that you need. 988 is the number that you dial or text. It may take a minute. If you're out there and you're a retired counselor or somebody, I know to do this work for longevity is hard because you're taking on the pain of others. But the suicide hotline needs experienced counselors, or if you want to volunteer, they have training. Get a hold of them because they need help so that you can help somebody who right now is dialing or texting that number, crying out, saying, see me, please see me. And it's important. It's important. It's important. I heard that there was a basketball player that sent out a cryptic message to his family and they got nervous. And so they called for a wellness check. And yeah, he's fine and he didn't mean it that way. And a lot of people say, well, no. Nobody was wrong in that situation. Nobody was wrong. The family did the right thing. We were worried. And that's important to reach out when you're worried about somebody else. So I want to thank you for coming to Life is a Sacred Journey. I think we have a guest next week. I'm not sure, but have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I called it Labor Day yesterday. I get them all mixed up because holidays to me, every day's a holiday. Every day's a holiday. Find a holiday moment in your day to day. Reach out and pet a cat if you can. If you're not allergic, pet a dog. If you're not allergic, hug yourself, because I hope you're not allergic to yourself. Go out and hug a tree. But more importantly, remember that life is a sacred journey, and it's really sacred when you realize that and you start living it to the best of your ability and not somebody else's. So have a marvelous day in the neighborhood. Happy Friday. Be well. Peace.